All right, hello everybody, and we're here with the one and only Richard Vaughan, Mr. Vaughan, and he's a reference in the English teaching in Spain. He's been for almost 50 years, and he's been such a reference for us because we met him back in 2005 with Vaughan Radio. And it was like I was saying the other day, it was like the rock stars when they saw Jimi Hendrix playing, and they saw they said I started playing when I saw Jimi Hendrix, so we started thinking about teaching when we saw Richard Vaughan.
Yeah, that was our Jimi Hendrix.
Fue nuestra inspiración y es lo que nos dijo, esto es lo que queremos hacer. Bueno, es una entrevista de agradecimiento y también que esperemos que sea inspiracional para toda la gente que se quiere dedicar a la enseñanza de idiomas en España, en el mundo hispano, que nuestra audiencia es muy, muy global, y también en el emprendimiento. Bienvenido, Richard. ¿Qué tal? Welcome.
Fine. Well, welcome. Thank you very much to you, Fran, and to Carlos for this opportunity. It's been a long time no see. Hace mucho que no nos vemos, eh?
That's a good one.
Os ha ido muy bien. It's been good. Long time no see. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. And you say you have some questions. Well, I'm ready to answer a few questions if you want.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions. About your career, about your life, about everything, about English, about learning English, about everything. So first, vamos a empezar un poco por tus comienzos te han preguntado muchas veces, pero que es algo creo importante para todos, de cómo viniste a España, por qué viniste a España y cómo se te ocurrió, pues tus comienzos de montar todo esto.
Well, I lived for 6 years in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm from Texas originally, but I spent 9 years in Oklahoma from age 9 to age 18. And during those years, 6 years of taking Spanish classes, pero español de colegio, como el inglés de colegio aquí.
Sí.
Nevertheless, when I went to Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, I forgot about Spanish. But in the second year, pululando por un edificio, I don't remember which one, I accidentally saw a bulletin, a notice, un anuncio, a notice on the bulletin board. Bulletin board is tablón de anuncios. Bulletin board saying un año académico en Madrid. And I said, hey, it's cool, mola. Eso es guay. It's cool. I said, why not? Because I already had 6 years of Spanish under my belt.
Muy buena expresión,
Yeah. O sea, en mi haber, under my belt. And so I asked my parents, and yes, so I came for an academic year. 1972, I was 20 years old, and I came here. And I spent my third university year in the United States. University is 4 years. And so I completed my third year in Spain through Southern Methodist University, SMU, in Dallas. And then I returned to Texas, and I switched to the University of Texas. I transferred my university credits and spent my last year in Austin, Texas. And at that point, I also changed my major, what you call la carrera o la especialidad, and I changed it to Spanish language and literature. And I got a double degree in philosophy and in Spanish language and literature. And I decided that maybe I wanted to do a doctorate, a PhD, doctorado, in Spanish literature. But before starting it, I decided to come back to Spain a second time after graduating to spend 2 years here to perfect my mastery of Spanish. And so I came back in 1974 at the age of 22. And of course, I needed to make ends meet. To make ends meet is llegar a fin de mes, hacer que los cabos se unan, económico-financieros. To make ends meet is llegar a fin de mes. So I needed to make ends meet. I needed to pay the rent as I was perfecting my Spanish, or trying to. And so I started teaching English just to make some money. Hasta hoy, cadena perpetua. It's a life sentence, okay, teaching English. But I realized after probably 2 or 3 months, or 2 or 3 weeks really, that students appreciated my style of teaching. I think more they appreciated my personality and my energy more than my style of teaching. But I was fortunate to get a good job in a nuclear plant, Central Nuclear de Zorita.
Wow.
After the first month in Guadalajara, provincia de Guadalajara, near Sacedón, near Pastrana, and Cifuentes in this area. And so I spent 10 months there. And so I was honing my skills. Yeah, that's to hone. H-O-N-E, to hone means ir puliendo las habilidades, puliendo las habilidades. I was honing my skills as a teacher and as a leader and as an influencer, let's say. Influencer
Back then.
in the 1970s.
Back in the day, yes.
And so when I returned to Madrid from the nuclear plant, I worked freelance for about a year. And then I started Vaughan Systems. I started my company. And it was based on around mi forma de ser, my personality, my temperament, my character, and finding people who were very, very good teachers.
That is a
Because
beautiful thing.
it's the teacher. It's not the method.
The
When
teacher.
when journalists ask me, Señor Vaughan, ¿cuál es el secreto de este revolucionario método Vaughan? I said, nada revolucionario. It's not revolutionary. It's a it's a good method. Es un excelente hardware. And
Yeah.
secreto, ninguno. No secret. Here's the teacher's book. Here's the student's book. Here's the picture. Take it to my competitors. If you don't take my teachers, it's not going to work because you don't have the right software. Okay. Yeah, the Vaughan method como método de enfoque, it's very, very good, but it's not good without my teachers. So
Absolutely.
it's the software, it's the teacher who makes or breaks. And you know that you've had many boring teachers in your life.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. But you also perhaps remember one or two or three outstanding teachers. Wow, qué pedazo de profesor. De qué planeta sería. All right. And that type of teacher, it doesn't matter what he or she is teaching. Suddenly you like it. Si el profe mola, el álgebra mola. De repente. Si el profe mola, Lope de Vega mola. If the teacher's cool, Hamlet and Shakespeare are cool.
Whatever it is, yes.
And it's the teacher, because the teacher's job is to be a catalyst. The person who performs the learning, el que aprende es el alumno. The person who learns is the student. And if you want to change the learning curve in which the student learns quickly and assimilates quickly and almost effortlessly, sin esfuerzo, effortlessly, then it's the teacher's job to win the student's heart. You have to go through the heart. Like it's called flechazo de Cupido, right? Like Cupid's arrow. If you can penetrate the heart, you have the brain, you have everything. And the student becomes an accomplice, tu cómplice, en el crimen de aprender, de verdad, you see. And so it's that's the teacher's job. The teacher's job is to get the student to fall in love with him as a teacher. And the student says, wow, me encanta este profe. I love this teacher. Y ya le tiene como cómplice. Entonces, irá hasta Antártida para aprender inglés o para aprender antropología o álgebra. It doesn't matter. If the teacher's outstanding, if the teacher gains, it's an emotional pact. Pacto emocional is the learning process. The learning process has to go through the heart. And so that's the secret of Vaughan. And so starting in the mid 1990s, I realized that I couldn't find enough good teachers, outstanding teachers. There weren't enough.
That's a difficult
La,
thing.
la calidad no abunda. And so we decided to start creating them from scratch, desde cero. And so we started focusing very, very carefully on recruitment. Búsqueda, selección, y luego formación. And recruitment. Si reclutas bien, la formación es menos crítica. Si reclutas mal, puedes formar hasta el día del juicio final
Y no funciona.
y elevas mediocridad a mediocridad más uno. You know, if you recruit people of quality 3/10, you can train them forever and you'll push them to quality 4.
Yeah.
So you have to find people with potential quality 8, 9, and 10. And so we decided that the policy, la política, the policy was to look for 2 attributes only in future potential teachers. Well, the first policy is with people with no teaching experience. We prefer to recruit people who have never taught anything. Second, the 2 attributes are energy, alguien con, no anémicos, energy, and humility. Humility in the sense of a capacity for capacity for self-analysis, introspection, capacity for introspection, and the desire to do your best. That's the positive aspect of humility, a humble person. And so that's the secret of Vaughan. That's the secret of my professional, what you call my career.
Wow.
So that's how I started. I started by accident. La acción emprendedora many times starts by accident.
Mhm.
I started teaching freelance to make money, and I said, anda, tengo una empresa en ciernes aquí, eh? And so you just said, bueno, I never dreamed to become an English. It wasn't my idea.
Yeah.
First, to stay in Spain my entire life. Second, to become an English teacher. Third, to create an English teaching company. It never was my idea. These things happen. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure that at least half of all the companies that have been created in the world were created a little bit by accident.
Yeah,
You simply
absolutely.
formalized a professional activity you were doing to make money, and presto, you have a future
Wow.
empire, perhaps.
And the other secret that we think that is to your success is your mastery of Spanish and how it is connected to the English language. Because in our opinion, a lot of the marketing surrounding the English teaching is, oh yes, you need to have native speaker teachers, or you need to have whatever, with titles or no titles. So, but the thing is, a lot of the native speaker teachers, they don't remember how they learned English, obviously, and they haven't learned Spanish properly. So they don't see the connection. And you guys see the whole thing, and you just basically
Well,
attack.
you see,
And
a person doesn't realize the structure of their native language, the mother tongue. For example, in Spanish, you always say, "Dile a Juan que venga."
Mhm.
Tell John to come, dile a Juan que venga. And now I say, ¿por qué decís dos veces el complemento directo o indirecto? Dile a Juan, no, es di a Juan que venga.
Mm.
Estáis diciendo,
Yeah.
tell him, John, to come. Y los españoles no se dan cuenta de esto. Ande, coño, pues es verdad. Okay. You don't realize things about your own language, but when
Absolutely.
you need to start teaching foreign people that language, then you understand your
realize.
own. You start to understand the true structure, and sometimes the strained structures of your own mother tongue. But as an advantage of my mastery, the richness of my mastery of Spanish, of course, helps. It doesn't help in teaching. It helps in impressing the student, but not in teaching.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps. You can say, se dice así, o asá, and then,
Mhm.
ahora lo entiendo. Yes, but that's very seldom. In fact, many of our best teachers don't speak Spanish very well. In fact, many of our teachers, after the first 2 months of teaching, are already getting rave reviews. Elogios de sus estudiantes, rave reviews, and they hardly know any Spanish. So
Mhm.
you don't need to know necessarily the language of your student. It helps.
It helps.
It helps. But the problem is, for example, we have a product called Vaughan, in which we bring volunteers from all over the English speaking world to Spain to prestar sus voces, to lend their voices
What
to
are
create
disruptive?
to create a microcosm of reality. Because you see, the English teacher and the English classroom is a flight simulator. And in a flight simulator, if you crash, you don't die.
Yeah.
You see, you don't feel the same anxiety. Even if you can spend 1,000 hours in a flight simulator, and I'm not going to go up with you on your first flight. And so, but 1 hour of flying and taking the plane up and bringing the baby down successfully is worth 100 hours of simulator, because suddenly you're confident. I can do it. And that's what we do in Von Town. We bring people, and then we send Spaniards there to suffer because they can't understand them. Because English teachers in the classroom speak very clearly. It's what you call in Spanish deformación profesional. Ponemos los puntos sobre las IES en la fonética
Oh,
inglesa.
yeah, absolutely.
And we choose vocabulary. I mean, if there's a strange person outside walking in the street, I say to my student, "Hey, Raul, look at the strange man outside." And he looks. But with my friends, I say, "Hey, check out the weirdo," you see. I'll use something. I'll use more colloquial
It's
speak.
real English, yes.
Yeah.
And so
Classroom English.
we mal acostumbramos al alumno, o sea, mimamos al alumno fonéticamente, sin querer, inconscientemente in the classroom. So the classroom is not a true microcosm or a true atmosphere for acquiring an ability, because I don't teach English. My job is to endow my students with the ability to get by successfully in communication situations. So, to endow is dotar, to endow my students to get by, para que salgan del paso con brío y confianza y con eficacia. Es lo que cuenta. My students will never, and you'll never speak English perfectly. Never. I don't speak English perfectly. I have my good moments, eloquent moments, and I have my less eloquent moments. Uy, qué mal me expresé ayer en la reunión. Nos pasa a todos. So we never have complete control or total potestad over our own, even the mother tongue.
Yes, not to mention
And
your
so,
second language, yes.
and when you speak a second language, of course, la merma se nota mucho más. You know, the moments of, uy, qué mal. And so people who are learning English need to remember that they will never speak perfectly, but it is imperative to understand perfectly. Here say yes. Because I always ask, why are deaf mutes mute? Y nadie me entiende la pregunta. I always ask, why are deaf mutes mute? ¿Cómo? Why are deaf mutes mute? You know, kind. Claro, ¿por qué son mudos los sordomudos? Porque tienen las cuerdas vocales en perfectas condiciones. Cualquier otorrino dirá, "Mira, tiene las cuerdas como tú, Richard, o como tú, Fran, o Carlos.
Yeah.
Claro, pero por qué no los puede utilizar un sordomudo? ¿Por qué no oye? Entonces la comunicación empieza en el oído. Si esa parte no está, apague y vámonos. O en inglés, the party's over.
Party's
Party's
over.
over.
The
Yeah.
party's over. And so it's
Correspondence.
so a person can any person is perfectly capable of being perfectly effective in any communication situation with imperfect speech, but you have to have perfect ear. So in your free time, when you approach English to improve your English in your own time, 70% of everything you do should be directed towards improving your listening comprehension.
We have we always say, so we have kind of a motto that says that sound good, understand better. So that says that the better you pronounce, the better you're going to understand. So what do you think about it?
Pronunciation usually should, well, in my opinion, pronunciation should
We know
never
your
be.
opinion about it, so that's why.
Yeah. Pronunciation should never be a priority unless your pronunciation is so defective that it undermines your own self-confidence and people don't understand you. But that's not a question of language. That's a question of that's a motor skill. Una habilidad motriz. And if you have very defective pronunciation in English, you need to go to a logopeda. You need to go speech therapy in Spanish. You need to improve your diction and resolution and voice inflection and projection. It's a physical question. And then if you can speak in clearer, better resolution Spanish, then you can migrate to English and then you're in a better position. But pronunciation, don't worry. Uno puede hablar así y andar por el mundo cerrando contratos sin ningún problema.
Yes,
You
but
understand?
don't you think if you're taught for 20 years in a row like this, you have to put it on.
It doesn't matter. I understand you perfectly.
Yes, you
Of course,
understand, but
I
I might
teachers,
have a hard time.
the Spanish educational system should allow teachers to be in the classroom speaking like that, like this. This is very important.
That's for starters. That's for
Yeah,
starters.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's to start with. But if a person speaks like that, this is very important. I need to go to we have a meeting tomorrow at 2:00.
Yeah.
Everybody understands them.
Yeah, but the problem is if a student's saying you have to put it on, then when they go to the real world and they understand, they say you have to put it on. It's just a
Well, I
like a
have
different
yo
story.
tengo un acento notable cuando hablo en español, toda la vida.
Well, yeah,
Y me ha ayudado, ¿eh? Me ha ayudado. Dice, uy,
yeah.
¿qué? ¿Sabes? Ha sido más positivo que negativo tener un pequeño acento, ¿sabes?
Yes,
Y con la edad cada vez peor, porque en la edad vas perdiendo capacidades motrices. Y entonces se me nota enseguida el acento. Sin embargo, el acento para mí ha sido un arma positivo, más que
Sí,
un,
pero es
más que un lastre.
muy ligero acento. El tema es que nosotros pensamos que, claro, que si aquí en nuestra escuela están diciendo, por ejemplo, eso, ¿no? You have to put it on, realmente a ti siempre te entienden, porque Apple de los Simpsons te lo
I
entiende.
always correct it,
Yes.
but I don't insist as a
Oh,
priority.
Yeah.
Of course, I always correct it because what I want my students to be able to do is to go to London and successfully negotiate the contract and bring it back signed. That's the only thing. It's effectiveness of communication. It's getting the job done because most people want to learn English or French or Spanish or whatever for professional reasons more than personal reasons.
Yeah.
There's a professional reason. And to be able to receive visitors or to go abroad and to successfully perform, to switch from Spanish to English y no sufrir merma alguna, and continue successfully negotiating the contract is the only thing that's important. Is the only thing. And so, of course, it's important to try to improve your pronunciation. But people who start English after puberty, or especially after age 20 or 22, they're never going to have even close to native pronunciation. They simply need to have clear speech. That's all. And so they shouldn't. Nobody, in my opinion, unless it's that one category for the logopeda, accepting that no student should be obsessed or worry too much about pronunciation. Just do the best you can and don't worry about it because the world there 3 billion people on this planet of this 8 billion speak English. Half a billion as native language, but another 2.5 billion as a second language, and we have accents para todos los gustos. Ir a Bruselas o a la UNO, Nueva York, y escuchar los acentazos que hay. Pero resuelven. I think it's important to do it tomorrow. La delegación italiana en la ONU, luego la delegación German, hablando como Schwarzenegger. I think it's very important. I have to do it this way. Okay, de acuerdo. Pero Schwarzenegger ha tenido mucho éxito con ese acentazo austríaco alemán que tiene. Entonces, el acento o la pronunciación, no hay que obsesionarse por ello. Okay.
All right. So about Vaughan Radio and in your TV and everything, how did it came up? How did it come up?
Well, you see, el emprendimiento, just opportunities pass every day. You have to keep your eyes open. Opportunity knocks on the door every day. Some people don't even hear it. Some people are deaf. Hay sordos en este mundo. But every day, incluso en épocas de vacas flacas, la oportunidad llama a diario a la puerta. Luego, hay otro. ¡Joder, qué pesada la oportunidad otra vez! Y ni se levanta el sofá. Los vagos. Y luego hay otros. Voy, coming, and they open the door. Opportunity. De entrada no.
Ya veremos, ya veremos.
El no de entrada es muy español,
Sí.
porque ante la inseguridad, el no de entrada. And so that nullifies any possibility. But then thank God, there are people who get up from the sofa, walk to the door, open it, opportunity. Said, cuéntame más, tell me more. Okay. Y el mundo gira gracias a esos. Yeah, they generate wealth. And so it's the same with the radio. I had at the beginning of 2000, in the middle of 2002, in fact, let's say November 2002, not even in my wildest dreams I thought about a radio. It didn't occur to me. But one of my teachers, José Luis León, in Los Angeles, Joe León, excellent teacher, excellent person. He says, on my door, hey Richard, guess what? Adivina qué, we say. Guess what? What? I have a radio show. Oh, great. Fantastic, Joe. Congratulations. Well, what kind of radio show? It's Classic Rock con Joe León. Te quiero entrevistar. And I said, ¿en qué radio? He said, Radio Cuatro Caminos. No me suena. ¿Qué cobertura tiene? 8 manzanas. Pero quiero que vengas. Y puesto que yo soy un excelente profesor, una persona que aprecio, entonces no le iba a menospreciar o despreciar en esto. Pero tuve que aparcar 1 kilómetro y caminar cuesta arriba sudando para llegar aquí en julio Entonces llego ahí y me entrevista y olfateo un poco lo que es aunque sea en mundo de la radio, y de Joe, o sea, ¿dónde está el equipo de potencia para esta radio? Dice, no, está en la bañera del cuarto de baño. Pero ya era mi primer contacto a los 51 años. 51 years old was my first contact. Para avalar el dicho, nunca es tarde si la dicha es buena, ¿eh?
Sin duda.
All right. And so I said, ¿quién manda aquí? ¿Quién es el dueño? And I spoke to them, and I rented 3 hours a day for 4 months
Oh,
to
get started.
prove to myself as a test,
Mhm.
together with my wife and Jim Trainer, another person, and we did it. And then I started, after month number 2, I started the investment to create a radio. And at first I did it illegally. I went to the ayuntamiento, bueno, la Comunidad de Madrid, la comunidad. No, licencia es imposible. Entonces busqué en el dial espacio que no molestase, ¡pam! Y puse a la torera una señal ilegal y no me lo cerraron porque gustó tanto. Los contenidos gustaban tanto que estoy seguro que la esposa del ministro de Industria dice, no toques eso. Pues yo sabía que la bondad de los contenidos iba a protegernos y no nos iban a precintar el locutorio de radio. Y eso fue el caso. Luego ya hemos podido conseguir comprar una licencia. Hemos postulado o hemos concursado en 8 comunidades autónomas y en 8 hemos perdido. O sea, siempre dan las licencias a Onda Cero, la
Sí,
COPE o a la SER o a Blas Herrero con el XFM. But
sí.
so finally we had to buy. Compramos por €1 millón la licencia de ¿cómo se dice? The Círculo de Bellas Artes en Madrid. Tenía. And so that's, but it's many years. What people need to understand is that el emprendimiento y la vida empresario hay que pensar a muy largo. You know, Amancio Ortega se hizo famoso a los 60 años. De repente, a la noche a la mañana, ¿quién es este tío? Que es el sexto hombre más rico del mundo. De la noche a mañana, claro, después de 43
Con
años
todo el trabajo
de
de
travesía, ¿eh?
Claro.
Empezó a los 14, ¿eh? En una camisería de La Coruña y luego montó Inditex a los 37 años, 23 años más tarde, y luego tardó otros 23 años hasta los 60 a ser reconocido en España. La gente prestaba más atención a Mario Conde y a todos estos pájaros, pero a uno que a la chita callándose estaba haciendo con un imperio, el imperio más grande del textil del mundo. ¿Eh? So, yeah. Pero entonces, con tiempo y una caña, y un esfuerzo tremendo, uno puede ir forjando imperios grandes o chicos.
Sí, sí, bueno, yo recuerdo back in 2008, something like that you were pretty much everywhere. On TV, Diario El Mundo. La gente, te imagino que te empezaría a conocer por la calle y tal. Eso, pues,
Yes. Now I wear a baseball cap when I go outside to take a walk or something. And now con las mascarillas and the baseball cap, they don't recognize me.
Yeah, it's magic.
Which I prefer. Es curioso, te das cuenta del alcance de tu vanidad. Because when I started appearing a lot on television, people were recognizing me right and left.
Yeah,
And approaching, always in a good way. They said, oh, you know, so that was good. Eh? However, after 1 month, ya está bien. We say enough is enough. Enough is enough, or that's enough. That's enough. No, enough is enough. Para decir, ya está bien. Enough is enough. That's enough es más fuerte. That's enough. Ya está. Basta. That's enough es basta ya. Es un poco más fuerte. But enough is ya está bien. O sea, entonces, baseball cap, etc. Although I appreciate the efusivos comentarios en la calle, los agradezco muchísimo. Sin embargo, mi vida privada es muy privada, porque mi pública es tan pública que prefiero ser hasta monacal fuera. That's the idea.
Qué bueno.
You've got 2 minutes. I have to leave in 2 minutes.
Just one question. Antes de acabar, simplemente cuéntanos un poquito proyectos futuros y cuál es ahora cómo va
Mi proyecto futuro.
Sí, proyectos futuros tanto compañía como a nivel de la empresa como a nivel personal.
My future project is to retire. To take it easy. Sí, no, en serio.
You're never going to do that. Yeah.
Yes, I am. No, la empresa ha sufrido mucho con el COVID, entonces, y además, I sold an important package of the shares about 11 years ago.
I remember
And
that.
so I don't have a majority stake in the company. And my partners, although I like them as people, I'm not happy with the way the company is going. That's one of the reasons that seriously considering maybe now is the moment to hang up my boots or something and say, ya está bien, enough is enough, ya está bien de dotar de España del inglés, porque los españoles resisten.
Y has hecho mucho para la causa. Nosotros llamamos la causa salvar el inglés en el mundo hispano. Creo que queremos que tú has hecho ya más de lo que te corresponde.
Sí.
Y una cosa que queríamos comentar, un par de cosas. Una es que nosotros, nuestros 2 primeros años, cuando nosotros dejamos nuestros puestos de trabajo y trabajamos con el método Vaughan.
Sí.
Comprábamos los libros aquí en una librería y decíamos...
tengo que llevarlos a los tribunales por copia. Yes, you're copying me, eh?
Well, it's just... wait,
but that's okay. They say el mejor elogio es que te copien.
For the 2 first years, we were buying the books. The students were buying the books here. We have over 600 students. Entonces fue una gran inspiración. Y luego, además, Carlos hizo previamente el máster de Vaughan. Él nunca ha salido fuera.
Sí, tú eres un sufridor de primera, ¿eh?
Cuidado 10 meses,
pero... 10 meses, ¿no? Algo así, a tope.
Estaba tan motivado, fíjate, que hasta que mis padres no vinieron, empecé en octubre y hasta mis padres no llegaron en enero a verme a Madrid, no había visto en la Plaza Mayor. Todavía.
No.
Estaba ahí inmerso en inglés, estaba ahí fascinado.
Okay.
Sí.
Bueno, no, lo habéis hecho muy bien. Estáis montando algo que puede... estáis en medio de crear un imperio propio, y sí. Recordad que hace falta mucha humildad y creer en el futuro y trabajar. El lema de los benedictinos es ora elabora. O sea, reza pero rema, macho, ¿eh? Y cuando más remes, más Dios te contesta los rezos o las oraciones. Ora elabora. A Dios rogando con el mazo dando.
Sí.
Entonces, es imposible fracasar si ponéis toda la carne al asador, mental, y intelectual y física. So I wish you the best. Pero os tengo que dejar.
Sí.
Thank you so much. Te íbamos a pedir consejo, pero ayer nos lo has dado. So thank you so much. It's been so inspiring, and I hope it's going to be for the audience.
Yeah.
And dinos, por favor, qué es lo que nos recomiendas, tus webs, cursos, lo que sea que pueda interesar a nuestra audiencia.
No, yo recomiendo simplemente entrar en YouTube y tragar 1000 horas año de lo que sea, tutoriales sobre cómo ponerte cachas, tutoriales sobre guitarra o entrevistas con Paul McCartney o con Donald Trump o Barack Obama o David Cameron, simplemente hincharte de la audición en inglés para ganar ese oído, porque es aquí, si tú fallas aquí, lo tienes crudo, ¿sabes? Eso. Pero volvemos a hablar en noviembre tal vez, ¿eh?
Perfecto.
Lo hacemos un par de veces al año. Ok, esto.
Gracias, Richard.
Thank you very much.
Y hemos tomado buena nota de todo.
Claro que sí.
Okay. Take care, guys, and all the best. And to your listeners and viewers, thank you very much. Take care.